Fudria, Rusev Machka.
Greetings, and salutations. Welcome to our 5th episode of the Big Schmozz. Ivan the Impaler with me, Superstar Rob Schulz. Are you excited for some stuff today?
I'm excited for stuff, and I'm excited to talk about professional wrestling, which is why we're here.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're going to start, Rob. By the way, Rob is a former wrestler, a former Rock City Wrestling Grand Slam champion. We got to come up with some new intro. We mentioned every show.
I'm glad you are aware of that.
Well, you give us credibility. See,
I do.
I give it the journalism credibility. You give us the street cred we so sorely need.
It depends who you ask, I guess.
All of Rochester fears you, Rob Schulz. All of Rochester. Let's talk about wrestling. We're going to start. This is unusual. We're going to start with the WWE.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about their Extreme Rules pay-per-view.
All right.
But, Rob, as we always know, the past leads into the future.
That's what happens.
So when we talk about the main event scheduled for Extreme Rules,
yes,
which is Seth Rollins defending his title against Randy Orton, you have to tell people how we got here.
How did we get here? Well, as you saw, or maybe you didn't see, WrestleMania. Seth Rollins cashing in Money in the Bank, pretty much screwing over Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at the same time.
In the match.
Mid-match. First time it's ever been on a WrestleMania. But if you go back to episode 4, I believe I called it.
You did. Rob Schulz correctly predicted.
No helicopter, though, unfortunately.
I'm just going to make a prediction that Rollins goes over, because they got to have some heels go
Really?
over. Yeah, Rollins. Yes. Go over.
Uh-oh, big prediction coming. What if Orton beats him, Rollins is so upset he leaves the arena, and you're like, well, there goes Money in the Bank. Guess what? In a helicopter, he comes back.
I like the helicopter idea.
I was watching on pay-per-view and I'm back, baby. I want the belt. I'm cashing it in.
Hey, Lex Luger used a helicopter to get to the aircraft carrier. The
USS Intrepid.
Yes, exactly. You said Seth Rollins was going to drop down from a helicopter.
What can you do?
But you did, and it's on tape.
There should have been, if there's a helipad, I think on the entranceway they could have done it, but there wasn't. So he ran down, which was just as effective, very fast. Everyone's going crazy. So he wins the title, wins the championship. Brock Lesnar's crazy. He's going upset. Roman Reigns can't believe it. But earlier in the night, and this is where Randy Orton comes in, Randy Orton beat Seth Rollins.
He beat him with one of the most visually spectacular moments, one of the best RKOs ever delivered.
I think it needs a new name almost. Like, that's how visually bubbly it was.
Bubbly.
Effervescent? I can think of something.
We'll go with effervescent.
Okay.
That's a college word. We'll use it.
All right.
An effervescent. So, kind of everyone, okay, well, Seth Rollins is out of the picture, they thought. But no, he came back and he won the title. The next night, by the way, so you're asking yourself, if you haven't been following wrestling, of course, if they haven't been following wrestling, why are they watching the show? Brock Lesnar just went absolutely nuts on Monday Night Raw, beat up people, including giving an F5 to play-by-play announcer Michael Cole, which is a good thing, except that meant that Byron Saxton took over. And he was awful, Rob. Well, let's talk about Extreme Rules pay-per-view, Rob.
Okay.
Rollins against Orton, there are stipulations. Randy Orton cannot use his patented finishing maneuver, the effervescent RKO. Rollins got to choose that stipulation. However, Randy Orton got to choose a stipulation of his own, and he said it's going to be in a steel cage. Rob.
But he has like all those other moves still. Yes.
Storyline RKO is banned. Doesn't stop him from using a diamond cutter, an ace crusher, or a stunner, which are very similar moves. So,
or a twist of fate.
Very nice.
Could we see one?
Very nice. I think that we'll see a twist of fate. Maybe not the wrestling moves, Rob, but in any wrestling pay-per-view, there will be some twists of fate. Thank you. Anyway, so what do they do? They stop the match, and they go to a replay. The referee has to determine, well, was that a diamond cutter or an RKO?
Right.
It's too much.
I don't think we'll get there.
Okay, hopefully.
Maybe when the ref is knocked out, RKO, bam. All right, so I got that steel cage. RKO was banned.
The authority. You still have the authority. There's still.
But they're out. They're outside. They're outside of the cage.
Rob, you've watched enough wrestling over your years.
I have.
People find ways to get into steel cages. That's the intent, to keep everyone else out.
I was just watching Great American Bash 1990.
Okay.
And El Gigante was there.
Okay.
And the Four Horsemen were there.
All right.
And Flair was fighting Luger.
Okay.
In the cage. And Arn Anderson got control of the guy controlling the cage. he made him raise the cage. Then they all slid under.
That's happened before.
It was great.
That happened in one WWE pay-per-view.
Well, Seth Rollins almost died that one time.
Yes.
That was horrible. Yeah. Okay.
But we'll talk about that later, guys.
So Kane, he's on the same page, though. Could Kane maybe be like, you know, I'm stopping this?
Yeah, they've been teasing heel turn with Kane, saying Kane's not important. He's really not relevant or a big player in the Authority. I don't know why they say that, other than the fact that Kane pretty much in every televised main event that he's been in, other than the pay-per-view for the last year, he ended up getting pinned.
What if he finds his hat again, though? You know, his mask.
Oh, his hat.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking
his little hat.
Is that how they say it in the streets of Rochester?
Nope.
Your hat is your mask?
No.
Now I'm
So
confused.
what if he puts that back on? Then the Beast is...
Demon's the Beast incarnate. No, Brock Lesnar's the Beast incarnate.
He's been unleashed again.
The Demon Kane.
It is in the lucite box in the back that only Stephanie is the key for, so... The mask.
Lucite? Okay.
Kane, right?
It might happen. And we're saying this somewhat jovially, but
Yeah.
it could happen. But okay, let's get here. Bottom line.
Yes.
Who do you see winning the match? Do you see any way of Randy Orton coming out as champion?
Oh, man. I didn't even consider that until just now. I don't want to see him as champ again. I don't.
I'm not saying I don't want to see him as champ. I just don't think it's going to happen now.
Good call.
By who?
I think Rollins will win.
Okay. You're saying good call. I didn't know I made a call.
Somehow. Wait. Can Rollins do an RKO?
There's nothing that says he can't. And there's nothing that says that Randy Orton can't do a curb stomp, which is sort of like
this
a
is
punt.
interesting. This is interesting.
Oh, see, WWE pays these writers money to come up with the stuff we just came up with at the top of our head. With, believe me, little or no planning.
We're peeling away the layers to this thing, little by little.
Pro wrestling is an onion.
Yeah.
You're peeling away
Yes.
to get to the stinking core of it.
I like when the guys use the other guy's moves, though. I think it's
Yeah,
fun. It's funny, but it's also like, wow, I can do that too.
Remember, they kind of started. It didn't start with it, but it started like with the Chris Benoit Kurt Angle match
Yeah?
at the Royal Rumble. That's where it first was popularized. They started using each other.
Well, I like it. I think that's best for business.
Okay. Speaking of what's best for business.
Yes.
Presuming Seth Rollins wins,
Okay.
do you see him as...
We are really talking about this match.
What's the main event?
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you see him as a transitional champion? You see him holding the belt for a while? I mean, we get into the whole question of what is a transitional period.
Okay. Sure, why not? I think he'd have for a while.
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not?
He'll have it a while?
I think so.
Rob, let's talk about one of the other really big matches on the card, and that is John Cena defending the United States title he won at WrestleMania.
Yes.
A rematch against the Russian or Bulgarian brute Rusev. When Cena beat him at WrestleMania, that was Rusev's first pinfall or submission loss. This is going to be a Russian chain match.
Yes.
Not a Slovakian chain match, but a Russian chain match.
Well, Cena used to have that chain too, didn't he? In
Well,
the chain gang,
yeah.
right?
But he rarely used it in the ring.
Well, now he has a chance to. In this Russian chain match.
Rob, who do you think the chain match who does it favor?
Well, obviously it favors Rusev. It has to.
But Cena had the chain.
Not a Russian chain.
Okay. Well, it's a rubber match in the series. It's 1-1. I'm going to say Cena comes out on top only because he just recently won the title. I don't think it's going to bury Rusev too much if he loses.
I don't know where he goes from there, Rusev.
Oh, they'll find stuff for him.
They will?
They'll find stuff for him.
You know, I think they had a missed opportunity on Raw this past week with the big flag. Could have been a nice opportunity for a nice UK flag to have been, put there by somebody else, like screwing him over.
See, you're making a mistake. You're using logic.
Yeah.
We've got to cut for a break here. Okay. We'll be right back on WrestleVision Presents The Big Schmozz.
Every time you think I'm done, I'll come back stronger. And every time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're at Ring of Honor, and with us, we're privileged, our old friend, well, I don't know if he considers us friends, but Boom Boom Colt Cabana.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome back to Western New York.
Oh, thank you very much. It's great to be here. We got a great show tonight here in Hamburg, New York. I'm excited. ROH has brought the crew to Hamburg. We're going to go to Toronto tomorrow, and fantastic weekend of professional wrestling up here in northern states / southern Canada.
Kind of a bloody, literally and figuratively, a bloody feud. You and El Generico against Kevin Steen and Steve Carino. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's just amazing the friendship that, was that funny to you?
No, you just start a bloody feud and you're talking about friendship. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what? It was just.
I'm going to tell a story here.
Okay, I'll let you speak. I'll just shut up.
Man, I don't... It's amazing the friendship. Friendship. Hilarious. That Kevin Steen and El Generico had, 8 years in ROH, are basically together as friend tag teams. Well, not in ROH, but around the world. Eventually, they worked so hard outside of Ring of Honor, and eventually they got into Ring of Honor, a true task in itself, but built themselves all the way up the card. And they were like one. It wasn't even just friends; it was a relationship. It was like brothers. And just to see what Kevin did to El Generico blew my mind, because I, at that time, had just been released by WWE. I was coming back to ROH, and I was great friends with both Kevin and Generico. They both kind of took me into their little circle of friends. And then to see what was going on with that, I couldn't accept what Kevin did. I couldn't really understand what he did or why he did it. So, I was there for Generico, and I tried to be there for Kevin to understand what he was going through, but he wanted none of it. He seemed to take a different side of friends with Steve Carino. And my goal is to be there for El Generico as a friend in wrestling. And of course, in wrestling, things get physical. Sometimes they get a little bloody, and that comes with the territory. That's just how it works here in the world of professional wrestling. It's understandable, and it's kind of gotten to that point. But tomorrow night, it's all going to be settled, because finally Generico and Steen are going to get in the ring one-on-one, and it's going to be amazing. And I know everyone has probably already watched it on GoFightLive.tv, but you can see the replay on GoFightLive.tv. And so this is after June 19th. I'm sure it was amazing. It was amazing. Crazy shit went down, I think. I don't know.
I don't know if we can say crazy on the internet.
But yeah, right.
The other word is okay, but
because
anyway, you talked briefly about your time in WWE. Many people, and I'm trying to maintain my objectivity. I can't say journalistic objectivity, because that would imply that I'm a journalist.
Right.
But
or an
maybe
object.
well, people have called me that. Your time there was way too short. But what did you personally draw from that experience in WWE?
I drew some cartoons. I drew straws. And I obviously drew the short straw, didn't I? It was what it was. It's nice to be part of that, knowing that you could make it to that level and you could be accepted as one in the locker room. Unfortunately, I don't think I was given my just due, and I've seen to meet thousands of fans who feel the same way, and I'm very appreciative of that. And so, I'm happy to be back with a company that appreciates my wrestling, my charisma, my character, my fun-loving style of being, and that's ROH. So right now, I'm happy. I'm ecstatic to be part of ROH wrestling. And yeah, so I mean, the WWE, it was what it was. I was there. The little 8-year-old Colt Cabana could say he made it to what he used to watch as a kid, and now it's time to move on. So
is this like breaking news, or
the Empire Carpet guy? Okay, I'm gonna actually.
Yeah, that's do your business.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Cabana. Good luck to you. Good luck.
Oh, I gotta call the carpet guy. Guys, sorry. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, no. I'd love to be in here. No. Right? Yeah. Right. 773-202-2222. Carpet man. Yeah. See? I'm a jingle man. Good. All right, we'll catch you later, guys.
Colt Cabana, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a lot for viewing. This is Ivan the Impaler. Hi friends, this is Ivan the Impaler, bringing you back to another segment on the Big Schmozz podcast. Superstar Rob Schulz, I am Ivan, because I just told you that. Rob, let's talk more about the WWE Extreme Rules pay-per-view.
How extreme are they going to get this year? Because they got pretty extreme last time, right?
Well, they're talking. I guess it's official. I'm not sure, but this Kiss My Arse match between Dolph Ziggler and the heelish Sheamus. But might I say, based on this, we have gone from the best pay-per-view of the year to what? It's not going to be a bad pay-per-view, but probably the dumbest pay-per-view.
You can see it for free, too, if you're a first-time subscriber.
That's right. The network is free this month.
Maybe they're expecting a low buy rate? I don't know. I'm not sure.
We could talk for at least 5 minutes about the subscription. We won't, though. About the subscription level they announced right after WrestleMania was 1.3 million, which was up.
That's a good number, right?
I thought it was good, but Wall Street was thinking a lot more, and the Wall Street, the stock went down like $5 over 2 days, which is kind of like really bad.
I don't know.
Anyway, let's get to the match. Sheamus. I like the heel turn only because I think he was losing steam as a face. I don't have any disagreement turning Sheamus heel.
No, I think he was due for it, probably. And he's more aerodynamic now with his, orange fin he has atop his head, which allows him to deliver bro kicks.
Oh, yeah, he's a mohawk, yes.
Sorry.
That really looks good on him.
I don't think everyone said he looks stupid. Maybe he does, but he looks different than everyone else out there. And he had like that kid and play thing going before. Kid and play. You know what I'm talking about.
I love kid and play.
His high top.
They were so hip. They were so now. Whatever happened to them?
One of those guys is still around.
Did one of them die? I think one of them died.
I think it's Kid. I don't know.
All
right.
We'll have to check that.
So they're going to be fighting.
They're fighting.
They're going to have a match.
Let's talk about Daniel Bryan being sent home early from the European tour. Yeah, apparently he's, some think he is experiencing neck issues, upper back, the whole clavicular area that caused him problems and caused him to miss over half a year. No announcements have been made about Daniel Bryan defending the Intercontinental title on the pay-per-view.
Boy, this IC title has been a like injury bug for whoever has had it, it seems.
And just short title reigns by the nature of it. I mean, we saw between Ziggler and Luke Harper, Ziggler, Barrett. Yeah, it's gone back and forth.
Yeah.
It's like a hot potato. They should call it the hot potato title. Instead of the IC title.
HP title.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm sure they'll enact that change. Let's talk about another match.
Okay.
Roman Reigns versus Big Show.
Big punches. They only got big punches in there.
Yeah, Weapon of Mass Destruction punch and the Superman punch, as if you didn't know that already.
Yep.
Bray Wyatt.
Okay.
Yes. I'm kind of going. We'll bring it all back together, folks.
This is speculation.
Speculation is he might be have his eyes set on Roman Reigns.
Well, who doesn't? The ladies love him.
Apparently not enough of them. Do you think this is who Bray Wyatt's been talking about, an old acquaintance?
It makes sense. All signs, point to yes on this. It was an 8-ball.
Yes.
Yeah, Roman Reigns doesn't really have too much to do. I was hoping he'd get back in the title picture I don't like when that happens, when people lose and they just get swept under the rug and then they disappear for a while. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, and you bring up a good point. Rob, we are not here. Our purpose is not to dissect WrestleMania, because we look to the future.
Okay.
But I want to bring this up briefly. Roman Reigns, the way he lost in WrestleMania.
Is he entitled to rematch for the belt?
No, because he was the champion. Technically, the champion would be Brock Lesnar, who is now suspended. And
he was trying to cash it in that night. He was trying to get his rematch that night on Raw when he got suspended.
Yes. So Brock Lesnar does get a rematch.
So he'll be gone forever. Lesnar's gone forever. So Reigns is off doing something else.
Well, Reigns, the point I'm trying to make.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay. By the way, remember now when you apologize in the show, or I apologize, you gotta apologize the Mr. Fuji way. So sorry. We'll throw salt over our shoulder. Roman Reigns. People say he was booked to look strong. Well, Lesnar beat him down, but he didn't give up. He took everything.
Because he's mentally strong.
So, do you think Reigns came out of it weaker than they hoped? I think He did.
At WrestleMania?
At WrestleMania.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, well, here's the deal. He bloodied Lesnar up, whether that's Reigns being a tough guy or Reigns not being a good judge of his punches or something. Being a sloppy worker, I guess.
Anyway, he's no hard hat Harry. Let's get that across.
He's not a hard hat. I don't know what that
Indie
means.
reference.
I don't know. Okay. Either way, Lesnar had the proof on his face.
But didn't Lesnar just run into a ring post? That's what cut it open. I mean, okay, we can.
Not the first time. He was already had some
That's
stuff
true.
going on.
Good.
Anyway, so Lesnar looked pretty ragged in the mush.
Bottom
That's
line,
what
who do you
happened
think? Who do you think's going to win that match between Reigns and Big Show?
Well, if there's some interaction from Bray Wyatt,
I
maybe
think
the
it's-
Fireflies come out in the middle of the match. I don't know. Big Show.
Okay, I think it's too easy to say Roman Reigns. And women's title match: Nikki Bella versus Paige.
But what if Kane cost Big Show the match?
That could happen. Accidentally cost him the match.
This is going to be early in the night too. It's going to definitely be before the main event.
I would hope so.
My gosh, Kane, what are you doing? He's going to get his hat on. Oh! Ivan.
Yes.
What if Kane comes through the ring? In the cage.
Wow. Interesting. Your track record on off the wall predictions is actually
Okay,
pretty good.
let's see. Let's wait to see what happens.
Well, listen,
okay?
it's been documented here. Let's talk about the women. We got to move
It
forward.
hasn't hit the editing bay yet, though.
No, God knows what happens there.
So the women's championship match, we got Nikki Bella taking on Paige, the winner of that huge, monumental Divas Battle Royal, 8-person Battle Royal.
The first 2 minutes of that match were one of the worst matches in a while. That was horrible.
That was all right. I liked
Give Divas a chance. Yeah, half of them have to learn how to wrestle.
I liked the Bellas in commentary and immediately tossing Rosa Mendes under the bus. That's awesome. I loved it. They asked Nikki who she wanted to wrestle. Because you saw it. They asked who she wanted to wrestle at the pay-per-view. And she said Rosa Mendes, of course.
That was, yeah.
And then she, Brie, and JBL all laughed. I liked it. So, okay, so then
We got to wrap this up, thankfully.
Naomi loses,
Okay.
and she goes off the deep end. She goes off the shallow end a little bit, and it was weird. But do you think heel Naomi is going to play a role in this match?
I think Naomi's best role is to wait till her contract expires and then do what she wants to do, which is become an actress, singer. I don't know. I this whole thing, I don't care. Paige, I like to see Paige wrestle. We can't even get into today. AJ Lee announcing his retirement.
Yeah.
We'll have to save that for another time. But that has a lot of implications for the women's division. And some would argue that the Naomi heel turn was a direct fallout of AJ Lee's departure. Rob, let's move on to matches which may happen,
Yes.
but have not been officially announced.
Uh-huh.
Rob, we saw at WrestleMania Luke Harper
Yeah.
throw Dean Ambrose through a ladder bridge.
And the next night, through a table.
Yes.
And then this time, this past week on Monday Night Raw, he was fighting against Ryback. And just in the middle of the match, he just took the little protector off the cage and bopped him for the DQ, and then Dean Ambrose came down again. So they've been going at it a little bit, and then
but nothing officially announced.
no, but they got a tangle, don't they?
They got a tangle at
They
some
got a
point.
tangle.
But are they going to tangle on the pay-per-view?
I hope so.
They're
They
going to
need
go at it.
Dean Ambrose, like I said before, I think he's the most over guy right now. I think he's good for people of all ages. Or I think he's the most he's the highest consensus scoring wrestler. He's not polarizing, really.
He isn't. He is
Like
not.
a lot
He is
of,
not
like a
polarizing.
lot of other people.
Yeah, it's like Cena's
even Daniel
polarizing.
Bryan has some detractors who.
Rob, there has been some talk, nothing official,
Okay.
about a tag team title match where the Brass Ring Club,
Who is?
Cesaro and Tyson Kidd,
Okay.
accompanied by the lovely and very talented Natty Neidhart. They may defend their tag team titles, but if they did, Rob, I mean, who's up there now? The Lucha Dragons.
They've got the momentum.
But is it too soon to give them a title shot?
Maybe we could see them fight. They squashed the Ascension, it seemed like. Lucha. I almost called them Lucha Underground.
Close
That's
enough.
not their name. Oh, my stomach's growling. I'm hungry for some tag titles.
You're hungry for some action, wrestling action.
Yeah, I don't know. Their whole tag situations. What about the primetime players?
Primetime place. That'd be interesting.
They've been tearing everybody down.
New Day, maybe, even though nobody cares. Well, we've
Come
speculated.
on. Who's a Puerto Rican bullfighter? I'll wait.
They bring up some good points.
There you go.
We'll have to take a break, Rob, but we will be right back to talk about more exciting pro wrestling news, information, gossip, and innuendo right here on the Big Schmozz. At Ring of Honor, and we're here with Shawn Daivari.
Hey,
and
how are you?
Shawn, nice to meet you.
Pleasure's mine.
Welcome to Buffalo, and you were with Ring of Honor several years ago. That's where you got one of your launching pads, so to speak.
Yeah, sort of. 2004, I think it was. Maybe it was 2003. I did the Super 8 tournament, which is like a big tournament out on the East Coast. And when I was over there, I met some people that worked for Ring of Honor, and the ball kind of started rolling. I had some friends from the Midwest, Cabana, CM Punk, and those guys, and they put in a good word for me. I did a few shows from them, and then shortly thereafter, I started with WWE, so I had to back out. But now everything's kind of come full circle. I was available as a free agent. And I contacted Apr15, who's another Midwest guy, and told him I'd be interested in coming to work for them. He said we'd love to have you, and we've been rolling ever since.
Yes. Are you a Chicago guy? Because Colt Cabana keeps talking about
No, I'm actually from Minnesota. Minneapolis area is where I broke in. And then obviously, kind of like you have your general independent talent from the same area. So I know all the Wisconsin guys, the Illinois guys, and that's how I got to know guys like Cabana, Pierce. Pierce from Wisconsin, Cabana and Punk from Chicago. And we just did shows together, and we kind of all eventually broke out together.
If you could just talk briefly about your time in WWE, you were initially, I guess, the manager, then you kind of drifted to the wrestling end.
Yeah.
In fact, I guess your last managerial day, I think, to pull history out though, was in Buffalo Great American Bash.
Yeah, it might have been.
Which was the match against Undertaker.
Right.
But you stayed on with the company a while after that. Just, if you could just talk briefly about the whole experience of working there and being both a manager and an in-ring talent.
Yeah, at WWE, it's a television show. That's the bottom line. And as long as I was doing a good product on television, I was happy with it. And they were treating me very well as far as the content we were given, the platform we were given to perform on, the money they were paying me. It was all on par as a manager. So at that point in time, I said, I had no problem with being a manager, seeing how I was doing better things than a lot of the wrestlers. I think there was a point in time where I did a Royal Rumble pay-per-view as a manager as part of a match, and my check ended up being bigger than the tag team champions at the time. So I was like, as long as things were on point, I was happy with it. And then when kind of they ran out of quality material for me to do as a manager, that's when we talked to Vince a little bit about transitioning to a wrestler, and that was the same thing. As long as I can do quality television, as long as I can put out a quality product, I'm happy with what I'm doing. I would much rather be a utilized character on the show than an unutilized wrestler.
Right. Okay. You kind of touched on this before, but I just have to ask you. You said when you were in WWE, everyone was on the same page storyline, so there were a lot of people questioning the whole ethnic stereotyping of your angle, but you had no problem with that.
No, I didn't mind. It was television. It was the sake of television. They never asked me to do anything that I was uncomfortable with, and they made it very, very clear that if I was uncomfortable with something, to say so, and we don't have to go there. That's the magic of pencils having erasers. If you don't like something, you can wipe it out and change it to whatever you want. But they never approached me with anything that I thought was in bad taste or was any worse than anything else that's being aired on television at that time. I mean, you could turn, at 2004, 2005, you could turn on Sleeper Cell on HBO and see terrorists slitting people's throats, or turn on 24 and seeing them blowing up airplanes and gunning down children and stuff. We weren't doing nothing like that. We were being fake wrestlers beating up other fake wrestlers.
Mr. Daivari, nice to meet you. Pleasure. And enjoyed your work both as a manager and a wrestler.
Cool. So, hopefully you'll enjoy it tonight if you're here for the show.
We'll be good. Thank you. Cool.
Welcome back to the Big Schmozz. Are you ready?
I guess I am, sure.
All right, Ivan. Let's take a little break from WWE. We've been talking about it for 90 minutes.
Wow. We need a break from WWE.
Let's talk about some TNA.
Oh, TNA Impact
I said
Wrestling.
and, not and.
Okay. TNA Impact Wrestling. What should we talk about first, Rob?
Well, you watch it a lot, so... Kurt Angle's the champ.
Yes. Doing a fine job, I think.
Yeah, I think so. He's had some matches with Lashley and Eric Young. EY, if you will. He's getting up there in age, though.
He did an interview
Yes.
recently, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but the implication was he would wrestle with TNA for another year,
Okay.
and we are actually well into a year now. And after that, he might try to go to WWE, even though he was rebuffed in his first attempt to come back
Wow.
there. And he just might call it quits. So, and there's no way he's wrestling beyond 2 years.
Why rebuff?
It's a long story, maybe not relevant to our subject matter today. Now there are some troubling signs out of the ring with TNA. Taz has tweeted and stated that he is leaving TNA. There was a story that some paychecks were late. Late paychecks,
Well, nobody likes that.
right?
That's
Especially in the TV industry, nobody likes it.
yeah. I don't know. I was never that big on Taz as a commentator.
Really?
I loved him as a wrestler, as a war machine. But yeah, I don't know. I never really dug his "what a tomato" and "this is a rocket buster" stuff. Did you?
I liked he would give some history lessons,
Yeah.
some insider stuff. I remember a couple weeks ago he was telling us how to differentiate between a hip toss and a Beal, which
Okay.
I thought was cool insider stuff. You know how JBL, and I really don't like JBL's character, but he will go into wrestling history a lot. Taz will do that. He'll make references to things he really doesn't have to bring up. So I like, Taz has grown as a commentator. I like him a lot better than Josh Matthews
Yeah.
doing play-by-play.
I
So.
don't know.
Well, anyway,
So, Al Snow, I guess, could be in the mix.
there's talk he was given a tryout, yes.
Okay. I'm excited about that. I like Al Snow.
Now, who doesn't like Al Snow? I think Al Snow is one of the most likable guys in the business. He nods affirmatively.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Ring of Honor Wrestling. By the way, Jay Briscoe successfully defended the title against Samoa Joe, Samoa Joe had a brief return.
Yep.
He's
So he's
not-
already gone?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Do you think Joe's appearance in the Ring of Honor helped elevate them at all, or was it just kind of a time filler for Joe's career, which, by the way, we don't know where Joe is going next?
Oh, I
We
get
don't
it.
know.
I get it. No, I don't. I don't think it elevated ROH at all.
Okay.
Because he was in TNA the whole time, and TNA's supposedly going down the tubes. So,
Well, I wouldn't jump to that conclusion yet.
you wouldn't?
About the tubes, no.
Really? Okay.
Missing payroll is never a good sign, but there could be.
Yeah, but there was talk about them being done before even this calendar year, with them leaving Spike and going to Destination America, who a lot of people don't even get channel-wise. And
See, I get Destination America. I
TNA
don't get the Lucha.
I was told today TNA hasn't had a house show in over a year. They don't do real pay-per-views.
I looked at their upcoming event
Yes.
schedule for the summer. I would agree with that because everything seems to be in Orlando. I mean, nothing's really announced outside of Orlando for the next 3 months. That
Okay.
could change. So I mean, you may be onto something.
I hope not. I like that. I wish they could elevate themselves to be that, not Attitude Era NWO DX level competition.
I think the product has been better the last 6 months or so. It's
But
been
at
definitely
least
better.
Maybe like ECW level.
And what happened
where
to ECW?
I know, but
They
I
folded.
know.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
you do know what you're saying.
I do.
You just don't know what's going
Thanks
to
for
happen.
having the confidence in me, Ivan the Impaler.
You just don't know what's going to happen, but you know what you're saying. And there's also been talk about Ring of Honor landing an additional TV deal, some internet stuff about maybe Fox being interested.
You know, Ivan, I've been getting some guff lately about not watching Ring of Honor. But I had watched the last few weeks, and I can tell you I'm not a big fan of the Briscoes.
Okay.
I don't like their thing. I very much like Jay Lethal.
Do or don't?
Do.
Yes.
How
Yes,
can you
well,
not?
Gotta love Jersey.
He fought Jushin Thunder Liger
Yes.
over this last show, and that was pretty neat. And there's some other new stars that we've been keeping our eyes on. Excuse me. Dalton Castle.
Who we have seen in his past life.
Yes. Well, yeah, okay, whatever.
Very flamboyant entrance, perhaps the most flamboyant entrance right now. Certainly the hottest.
Yeah, I heard about it, and I tuned in last time. I caught a replay, and he was using two young boys as
His boys.
as like a sofa.
Basically. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as it's
That's pretty
consenting
neat.
adults.
It seems like something like Mariah Carey would do, or
Yeah, but Dalton Castle
Cleopatra.
wrestled.
Yeah, he's a wrestler.
Yeah.
A male
And
wrestler,
by the
yes.
way, Dalton Castle does have a legitimate freestyle wrestling background.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, Dylan Dijak, who won their Top Prospects tournament and sided with Jay Lethal in the House of Truth.
Okay. And you have to help me out a little bit.
Sure, but you need something moved?
No.
I can't lift anything too heavy.
The Carino child.
Oh,
He's just been recruited. Now, are we going to see him in ring, or is this kind of something we're just kind of like holding a bucket for a while?
He's been training. Colby Carino also had a good amateur background. He was like a Pennsylvania state champion, I think, in his weight class. But he has sided with, I believe, the Decade, and Papa, Steve Carino, is not happy with that.
Yeah. I was curious. All right,
Fathers and sons can never get along in wrestling. Look at the Reynolds family, for crying out loud. Oi!
You want to take a break?
I think we're due for a break.
Okay.
So let's take this break, and we'll come back with even more stuff. In fact, Rob, I think we're going to go around the globe next time.
Ooh, pack your bags.
Pack your bags, get your passport. We'll be right back with the Big Schmozz podcast. We're at Ring of Honor, and I'm going to use the word honored. Ring of Honor to see Mr. Jim Cornette.
Thank you very much, Ivan.
For wrestling fans who don't know, and I'm sure you're going to come up with a couple names that I didn't realize. Tell us about the men you've managed throughout your illustrious career.
Oh my God! Well, of course, obviously, the Midnight Express, whether it be the combination of Bobby Eaton and Dennis Condrey, or Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane, for so many years, that's what I'm most noted for. Kind of like Orson Welles, I achieved my greatest success early. But I also managed Yokozuna when he was the then WWF champion, the British Bulldog and Owen Hart, WWF Tag Team champions, Vader in the WWF. I've also managed the Heavenly Bodies in WWF and Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and a great variety, going all the way back to my early days in the exotic Adrian Street and Miss Linda in Memphis, Tennessee. So I've had a variety of people under my tutelage, and hopefully I've advanced most of their careers. I've set a few of them back, but I've advanced probably the good majority of them.
In your blogs and your articles, you haven't been shy about your opinion of the state of TNA wrestling right now. You're probably not as afraid to step on toes as I am, and I don't know why, because I've got nothing to gain.
As Ernie Ladd used to say, I'm big enough to step on toes and keep on walking. No, I'm not afraid to step on toes. I'm too old for one thing to start lying.
Okay.
I'm too old for another thing to start kissing people's butt that I don't like and that I don't appreciate. I was disappointed in TNA because I felt that TNA had the opportunity, as we're going to close down here in a minute, TNA had the opportunity to be a competitor to Vince McMahon. They have the television in place, they have a great talent roster, they have pay-per-view, they have merchandising and licensing deals, they have everything except leadership and creative direction. And that's what my problem is with them, because they've gotten a long way toward chasing Vince McMahon just to go belly up, because they make a lot of bad talent decisions and a lot of bad creative decisions. And that's why I take them to task on it, because I'm disappointed in them, because I wanted to see them succeed. And because after several years of beating my head against the wall and other people beating their head against the wall, they still won't listen at the top. And so that's why they're in the state they're in. And I happen to make mention of it because it's my hobby and I like doing these things. But as they say, the old clock on the wall says they're about to open the doors and they're going to stampede us here. So folks, before we get run over by the screaming throngs, we're going to take off. Ivan,
Mr. Cornette, pleasure to meet you. True
Thank
legend.
you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, 30 seconds in, hit him with an F5. Hit it back so hard he feel it in the next life.
Why, thank you for coming back to visit us. I'm Ivan the Impaler. This is Superstar Rob Schulz. We're here with the Big Schmozz podcast. And Rob, this is the segment of the show where we like to go around the globe.
Yep. If you were an umpire in baseball, that would be a home run.
Home run, yeah. Going around the bases.
St. Roberts, someone's going to DDT.
That's true.
But today, around the globe.
Of course, the short arm clothesline, that always up the DDT too.
And then everybody's like, oh, comes the DDT.
So in baseball,
yes,
someone hits a home run, the umpire should give the closest guy a short arm clothesline. If it was Jerry Lane, I'd do it.
Jerry Lynn?
Jerry Lane.
Oh.
And long story. Let's talk about NXT, the WWE developmental territory, which in some ways is not developmental. It's good. They have a 2-hour special coming up on April 23rd. Hopefully you'll see this before you see that. Otherwise you'll see what our predictions are.
With the magic of the WWE Network, they can always just go back and watch it. And it can be new to them whenever it's new.
And April is free.
Yep.
Rhino and the Brian Kendrick had returned to
Man.
NXT.
See, I wish this podcast was on a couple weeks ago. Then I would have known that Rhino was there.
I didn't know he was there until he actually showed up.
So now I got to go back through the magic of the WWE Network and catch up on my Rhino. Love Rhino.
They're starting to tour more. They were as far north as Cleveland
Ooh.
a while back. They have been openly talking about having a touring roster, going on the road more. This, in many people's minds, will help the development of the roster,
Okay.
working in front of different crowds in different areas.
Getting used to the perils of road action.
Oh, they are perilous indeed, yes.
Yep.
One thing that always happens around WrestleMania time is that you get call-ups to the big roster from NXT.
Paige.
Paige last year,
Yeah.
winning the women's title of her first night in the company.
I can't remember when the Ascension ascended, but they're there now.
Yes.
Losing to the
Won't be there
Lucha
for long.
Dragons,
Yes.
who are there now.
Lucha Dragons coming up. Very popular, very over with the post-WrestleMania crowd. Adrian Neville, who, of course, you can't have two names. He is just now Neville. Wins his first match. Loses his next two on Raw, but I think he lost in a good way, a believable way. He didn't lose his credibility, so
No.
to speak. He kept his heat, as
He's
they
been
like to say.
flying all over the place.
That's what he does. He flies around a lot. He's bulked. For those of you who remember him as Pac on the Independence scene, he's bulked up quite a bit too.
Oh, I heard
Who's
of that
next?
guy. I didn't
No
know
pun
that.
intended. Yeah. Who's next?
Is it Charlotte Flair?
I think with
I
AJ.
just read the sheet.
Yes. Okay. Well, with AJ Lee retiring,
Yeah, can she fill that role?
I would think if anyone on the roster, she probably is the logical choice.
I mentioned it before, though. Can anyone even keep up with her?
I will talk briefly about Shimmer. Talk about women's wrestling.
Oh.
Congratulations to the new tag team champions there, Kimberly and Cherry Bomb, the Kimber Bombs.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I've heard of Cherry Bomb.
Yes, you
Interesting.
have. You've
Okay.
probably seen her too,
All right.
but you just don't remember. Global Force. We actually have news about Global Force Wrestling.
All right.
They set some taping dates for Vegas.
Yeah.
As in Las Vegas. July is the first date, July 24th. Not much has been said, unless I missed something about like what it's going to be, who's going to be on it, and stuff like that.
Do they have a roster or
No.
a loose outline yet? Nothing
No,
at all?
no,
Why am I
they're-
paying to go then?
I'm sure they'll be announcing stuff closer
Oh.
to the date.
Okay.
Give Jeff Jarrett enough credit, whether or not this will fly. He's been prepping for this for well over a year. I mean, it was about a year ago that I interviewed him for Sports and Leisure magazine about the startup of Global Force Wrestling and what we can expect. And he said it's all a work in progress, whether he just didn't know what was going to happen,
Yeah.
or like a smart businessman, keeping cards close to the vest. And you don't want to let on things to people and then they don't materialize.
Keeping cards close to the vest. Their first show scheduled for Las Vegas.
Cards to the vest.
There you go.
At the Orleans Arena.
Yeah. All right. Not in New Orleans. So,
Right, in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Ivan, have you been watching Lucha Underground lately?
I can't get it with my current TV
Oh,
sub.
it's a bummer.
But I've heard, Rob, they're saying about Trios tag title.
That's pretty neat.
I think it is neat.
Yeah, so they've had a whole bunch of teams. The one I like the best, my favorite one, is the team of Son of Havoc, Ivelisse, and Angelico. I wish them the best of luck out there. They accidentally won their match.
Accidentally.
There's a lot of turmoil on their team where they're not getting along because Ivelisse was dating Son of Havoc and Angelico was trying to like steal her from him. So nobody on the team likes each other. They were paired together though. Not paired. They were, I don't know the word.
So you have three people grouped. Maybe grouped, thrown, tossed, mixed,
They were they were
coagulated.
They were assigned to team together. And Ivelisse was like, I'm done with this, man. That's not her voice. That's like just what I. Anyway, so Son of Havoc got the pinfall and they advanced in this thing. So she reluctantly got to watch. Anyway, so the other big things going on. There was a best of 5 series between Drago and Aerostar, and the winner had a unique opportunity. Okay, so Drago won this thing, and he gets a title shot at Prince Puma, but if he loses, he's banned.
It is an opportunity, but
I guess you better win.
high risk, high rewards.
So that's cool.
Maybe he's going to be filming a movie. Rob, I think it's time
Yep.
to give it our closing thoughts and take it straight to the finish. Rob, I'm going to let you start while I think of something to say.
Okay. Yeah, I had Extreme Rules. I mean, it's not gonna be WrestleMania big, so we'll see what happens. But I can tell you one thing: I've been sinking lots of time in my household with my lovely wife. We've been playing WWE Supercard, which you might have seen advertised once or twice on Raw with Paul Heyman talking to a giant card Brock Lesnar.
I haven't seen it, but in 23 words or less, can you describe it?
It's not for everybody. Whatever. It's free to play and quick to play, but time consuming, if that makes sense. It's very addictive, but it's fun for the collector.
Okay, I love to collect.
I don't think you'd like it.
I was a great collector early on in the day.
I think all the little kids out there watching would like it, but yeah, so that's fun.
Okay, my closing thoughts are this. One thing we saw at WrestleMania was the Ronda Rousey angle, her and The Rock getting in the face of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, which has led to speculation about maybe some mixed match. And actually, Jim Ross was the first one to publicly come up with the idea of straight up Ronda Rousey versus Stephanie McMahon. I think it's interesting. I have to believe Dana White will only let it go so far because he's worried about UFC fighters losing their credibility if they get too involved in professional wrestling, even though the extra publicity can only help. It's going to be interesting to see what this happens. If anything happens, it will probably be at SummerSlam.
Do you feel like Lesnar's lost credibility?
Well, he wanted... No, not Brock Lesnar.
Right.
He's a whole different beast. And Ronda Rousey's a whole different beast.
Yeah, she is.
She could beat up guys. And look good doing it, too. Rob, I think that's about everything we've got.
Okay.
We'd like for all you fans, to visit WrestleVision.com. We're also on Facebook at WrestleVision.com. WrestleVision is on the Twitter, so you can tweet and follow us there. The Big Schmozz podcast is also on the Rock Sports Network. That's ROC SportsNetwork.com. You can read my columns in Sports and Leisure magazine. Rob, in the future...
Can't read me anywhere. I don't write anything.
No, you write stuff on the internet, too. You send emails to lonely people. Also, I don't know what I meant by that. I just said it. Also, a tease for upcoming shows. We may have some interviews with some wrestling legends coming up in the next few episodes.
You didn't tell me that.
I didn't tell you that, but that's why it's going to be a surprise. On behalf of the superstar Rob Schulz, I'm Ivan the Impaler. Thank you for joining us. Tune in next time for The Big Schmozz.
Catch you on down the road.